Good afternoon, sports fans from all around the world. I am your host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is your midday market report for Thursday, June 16th, 2022. Behind me, the Country Club of Brookline hosting the U.S. Open this year. Currently, as we speak, there's three or four guys minus three. Just asking our seasoned vet behind stage what he thought of someone that's crawling up the top here. Currently, DraftKings, Rory McIlroy plus 450 to win the tournament. John Rahm at plus 1100, JT at plus 12, Scheffler plus 14, and the list is endless. Your ECSI VIPs are holding a plus 1800 with Rory, first round leader, which would be a four-way split. 2 weeks ago, we had Kim Young at plus 4,000 or 4,500 in a five-way split. But, it used to be I could reach out to this guest and it would be no problem. Now I got to go through a secretary, two agents, book them 3 weeks in advance. That's how hot this guy is. He's hotter than it was in Brookline on Tuesday, and we were about 95. So without further ado, let's bring him in. The one, the only, Mr. Dubbs Anderson.
JD, happy Thursday, my man. A week unlike any other. About damn time we got this major championship underway because there's been too much chit-chat, too much small talk, if you will. All this live golf over in London. Yeah, good to see you, boys. The best of the best here stateside. And now we get to see who is the best of the best. This is a golf course that's going to differentiate between the bozos, the also-ran, and the men. The men are going to stand up in this one for me, JD. It's going to test everything. As we're seeing out there this morning, very tough golf course. You throw a bit of wind in there. The rough, they're saying it's 3.5 inches. I think it's getting closer to 4. Bring it on. This is what we live for.
I walked the course on Tuesday. I was out there in 99 for the Ryder Cup. A lot has changed there. But as I stated all week, the winner of this tournament is going to absolutely 100% have earned it.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I reached out to a buddy there. He's coaching this week. One of his players, Brandon Matthews, in the field, hits an absolute mile. But I asked him, I go, what's it going to take to get it done this week? He goes, plain and simple, you've got to find the fairway. If you don't find the fairway this week, you can't spin the ball. You can't hold some of these smaller greens. So, look, the US Open, we usually fall in love, go for distance, go for the long drivers. But this week, I think you need a real chess player, someone who can be strategic, stick to their strategy. And again, we're in Boston. This is the Boston Marathon, if you will. Come Sunday afternoon, the winning mark may only get to 6, 7 under par. That's not a high ceiling. So for a lot of these guys, they're going to make bogeys. They're going to make doubles. I mean, it's so tough around the greens. You can see players out there already. They're losing golf balls in the face of bunkers. You're really a battle of attrition, if you will.
We're not going to talk and make this the topic of our show here. You talked about the live tournament, adios, whatever, however you want to view it. What was your thought before we teed off today on the live golfers, and any of them you think could be successful this weekend?
Look, I wasn't, because a lot of those guys are just haven't been, playing a lot of golf. They're out of form. I mean, Dustin Johnson, he sort of gave up about 12 months ago. He lacks the motivation. Lefty's been in the wilderness, and he looks it. He looks like he hasn't had a shave in about 6 months. DeChambeau's been playing injured. Paddy Reed hasn't been playing his best stuff. Kevin Na, who's actually started out all right there today, I can't see him being a factor on Sunday afternoon. So really, it was a bit of a fade play for me, especially when you have to travel back from the UK last week out here to a proper golf course, proper format. And then you've got the extra anxiety and pressure of, are they, the spectators over here in Boston going to give me a hard time? They're going to yell out something which I don't want to hear. What's the press going to ask me? So I think that extra pressure cannot help in any kind of positive way. But I mean, Dustin Johnson, if he decided that the golf game's there, he could absolutely be a factor. I just don't think that's going to be the case. So it was pretty much a big fade play for me on all the live guys.
Unfortunately, as you talk about horses for courses, you talk about form. And a couple of these golfers right now are in tip-top form. The Rorys of the world, the JTs of the world. I think Scotty Scheffler's kind of faded just a tad. But the market, they didn't make it easy for us trying to get some pre-flops in. on a Rory, on a JT. When you looked at the market before today, how did you address the top of the leaderboard versus maybe, your plus 2,000, 2,500s and 3,000s and so on?
Yeah, look, it's a week where we do get a little chalky, JD, just because the majors, I mean, you look at the last six winners, they're all big names, right? Your Morikawas, your Scotty Schefflers, your Justin Thomases, Hideki Matsuyama. So I really don't think that there's much room for the big value play. So for me, I looked at the top of the board. I think Roy McIlroy winning last Sunday, I mean, he's playing fantastic, but for him to go back to back, you need the bounce to go in your favor. I do like Justin Thomas. I think he's got a very good chance of going back to back, even get off to a decent start today. 12-1. It's not a flashy number, but I do like it. Same as Scotty Scheffler. I wasn't big on him, especially with the big sticks. Sometimes he can be a little wayward. I think that's going to hurt his chances coming into this one. But I mean, as good as Scotty Scheffler's playing, he's still going to make it through to the weekend and probably pop up on this leaderboard at some stage, you'd figure. But with that, and with some of these big names playing really hot golf, it gives us a bit more value on guys like Paddy Cantlays, Xander Schauffele's, Victor Hovland's. I mean, I got a slice of Hovland at 31-1. Now, people are saying, well, his short game's probably not going to be great here, but you look at the rough around the greens, there's not much chipping going on this week. It's either the full-blown flop shot, you're trying to play it like a bunker shot, so I think it really helps a guy like Victor Hovland. So the good form from some of these big names, it actually gives us a bit more value for some of these other guys trying to get that breakthrough win here on the major stage. And there are a couple of guys I was big on with a bit more value, Paddy Cantlay and Victor Hovland.
And you talked about a couple minutes ago, Colin Morikawa, another guy. I think we got in around plus 3,000, somewhere in there. Someone who's got great iron play. The putter isn't the greatest, but as you said, smaller greens, bunkers every which way. So a lot of these shots that you're assuming we're going to get onto the green are probably, if they do hit the green, are going to probably go off the green. So does that favor someone like a Morikawa, or is there anyone else that you could see that could maybe get a little edge come this weekend?
Yeah, I think a guy like Morikawa is tailor-made to this golf course. And I'd group him with, a Xander Schauffele, a Cantlay, if you will. These guys, they don't hit it a long way, but their bread and butter is finding the fairway, find the green. For Colin Morikawa, the biggest concern has been the putter, but this is a week where I'm not putting a lot of weight on putting because you've got really small greens. It's going to take out a lot of three putts. You're really not going to have a lot of long opportunities this week. So it helps Morikawa, but I mean, for him, he's telling us that he's now playing a draw when he's played it left to right his whole career and he can't figure it out. Now that scares me. I don't know how him and the coach can't figure out why they can't get it back going left to right. Now, for a top tier player, you don't want to be working it both ways. I mean, you want to have that on demand, but you always want to just have the one-way shot because then you're taking out half the golf course. So, I mean, for Colin Morikawa, fantastic round out there this morning. I love his golf game. It looks like he's found a new putter. But, hey, if it works for him, it works for him. We know how good this guy is at the major championships. I think he's been playing a little angry. We saw that the PGA Championship. It flowed in to the next couple of events. But, I mean, how can you go against Colin Morikawa when you've got a very good number on him for this one?
Take it from 3,000, say, to 5,000, 6,000. Anyone that you stuck out was a value play or someone that you think, I always talk about very simply when you're playing the, golf and the tournaments, three things. Obviously, A, you got to make the cut. B, you got to have a good moving day on Saturday. And C, you're just hoping for some Sunday sweats.
Yeah, that's it. And with the majors, JD, I mean, it really is endurance. You just want to hang in there with the leaders. You don't have to do anything crazy today. You definitely don't want to shoot yourself out of the tournament. So I think, as long as you're with, 3 or 4 shots moving into the weekend, same on Sunday, a guy who keeps popping up on these leaderboards is at tremendous value. Aaron Wise posted a 2 under there this morning today. He's a winner on the PGA Tour. I love his golf game. And we look at recent form, who's been popping up on leaderboards the last 4 or 5 weeks. Aaron Wise, I feel like he's up there every single weekend now. Shoots 2 under today. I love his golf game. I don't know if he can be the front runner, but if he puts 4 of these together, he just keeps staying 1 or 2 shots back. Who knows? On Sunday, maybe he can pip him at the post, if you will. But for some of these young guys, that's what we look for. We don't want them to be in that final group and run away with this thing. We just want them to be stalking, if you will, going into Sunday. Less pressure, post the number, get in that clubhouse early, and who knows, maybe win the US Open.
What about your Aussies?
Look, Cameron Smith, my concerns with him is the driver. I mean, he's all over the ballpark. He doesn't even practice it. So it's no surprise that he can't keep it on a string. But I think the rest of his game is so good. The short game, the putting, I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to be a factor in this one. How does he avoid the big miss off the tee? Well, it's not a long golf course, 7,200 yards. Take 2 on. Take 3 wood, put it on the fairway. That's all he needs to do. His iron play is so elite. He can definitely get himself into the mix here, and I think he is a proven winner. He's just got to play smarter. We saw at the Masters, he made a silly mistake there against Scotty Scheffler on the Sunday. I think that took a little sting out of his sails for the next couple of weeks. And JD, some of these guys like it, Cameron Smith, I don't think he cares about the RBC Canadian Open. I don't think he cares about the Charles Schwab Challenge. I think the majors are what gets him tickets. So I think the motivation is absolutely going to be there for him this week.
We're halfway through at least the first round. Obviously, at the end of the day, you're going to take a look at the leaderboard. You know, your -3 right now is the lead. Then you got your 2s, 1s, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There was definitely, they said, an advantage to go out early this morning versus this afternoon with the wind picking up. Can you tell the general public here, the new to golfers, if they didn't get in pre-flop, what they should be looking for? I mean, the eyes automatically go to the top with the big names, but how can you explain to someone how they can actually get someone 5-6 shots back at better value with an opportunity just to make that cut?
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to do a bit of homework, but the ceiling we look for is who's hitting fairways, who's hitting greens. That tells us the ball striking's there. That tells us the birdie opportunities are coming, and maybe they just haven't sank many putts, the first day or two. So that's always what I look for in the live betting. And on the flip side of that, I try to fade anyone who's putted really well the first day, the first couple of days, but maybe their ball striking is not there. So you see them at the top of the leaderboard and you go, okay, they're 4 or 5 under par. They must be playing fantastic. But in reality, they've sunk every single putt they've looked at. They've made 150 foot of putts out there to make up for some spotty ball striking, because that's not sustainable. The putting, that's the most variance we get for any professional golfer out on the PGA Tour. So I tend to stick with ball striking. If you're hitting fairways, you're hitting greens, the birdie looks are going to come. And as good as all these guys are, they figure out the greens, especially moving into the weekend. So that's what we always try and favor, especially after, the first or second round in the live betting. But don't fall in love with the top of the live markets, because, look, anyone can get out to a hot start Thursday, Friday. They're playing, with some lesser names. They don't have the TV cameras on. And then suddenly on Saturday, you're the last group of US Open. So you've got to factor in the intangibles, if you will, that X factor. Who's going to be comfortable playing on that kind of stage and who's going to step up and get it done.
Who were some of your head-to-head matches that you had that you had played before we teed off on Thursday?
I got a lot of tickets in this one, JD. A lot of top 20 finishing positions as well. I'll try to find the head-to-heads here. I was big on Sam Burns, Victor Hovland. I think I had them both in matchups over Joaquin Niemann. Now, Joaquin Niemann's been having a fantastic season, but he's still very erratic with that driver. And you look at this golf course, I mean, if you're offline, you could be losing the ball, not just playing from some very thick, penal rough. The short game is a little concerned. So Sam Burns is a guy I'm very big on. Victor Hovland, again, I'm not too concerned about the short game struggles for him. I love how long and how straight Hovland is. And again, if it comes down to ball striking, second shot golf, Sam Burns, Victor Hovland, two of the hottest golfers in the world right now.
And you talked about some top 20s. Anyone jump off the page that you're holding tickets on?
Yeah, look, I had Russell Henley. I got him at 140 to 1, the outright market. He started sensational today, and then the wheels just flew off him, JD. So I'm glad I didn't dish that one out too early. Matty Fitzpatrick's a guy I've got my eye on for a top 20. He won the US Amateur back here in 2013. You got him a plus money for a top 20. Can he win this thing? Look, he keeps putting himself in the mix at the major championships, but again, scar tissue. He can't get it done. He does the old reverse-handed chipping, which gives me a couple of concerns as well. So I think Matty Fitzpatrick is absolutely in line for a top 20. I just don't think he can shut the door. A 7-time winner internationally, still yet to win here on the PGA Tour. I think Colin Morikawa plus 120 for a top 20 was a great play. Again, off to a strong start there today, 3 under par. And I've got Cam Smith there as well. I had higher hopes for Francesco Molinari, the Italian stallion, for a top 40. at plus 190. Didn't look too good out there today. But again, 3 over par, you're not out of it, not with such a tough golf course. The cut line tomorrow may be 5, 6 over par, which we're not used to seeing. So some of these more experienced players, they can lean on that and say, hey, 3 over, not out of this one. Not just yet anyway.
All right, I'm going to use a Dave Sharapan line here. We given you Biff's Almanac, and you have the future for the weekend. Lead us through Saturday and Sunday as Dubbs Anderson sees it.
Look, I think the cream is going to rise to the top. I think we see Roy McIlroy, Justin Thomas. I think Scotty Scheffler is going to be there or thereabouts. I think maybe we get a young bolter. Maybe we get a foreign player who we don't see much of out here in the stateside. You know, maybe straight off the DP World Tour, and we're saying, hey, who's this 150-1 long shot? But ultimately, come Sunday, I think we're going to see a congested, condensed leaderboard sitting right around 4 under par. I think 7 under par is going to get it done. And look, the drama, I don't think on this golf course is going to start until the back 9 on Sunday, just like the Masters, if you will. But I think we see some very big names jockeying up and down this leaderboard with maybe a bolter and maybe a foreign golfer there from the DP World Tour who people are saying, who's this guy? But I do think a big name, a Roy McIlroy, Justin Thomas, is going to be a problem late on Sunday. Maybe John Rahm. He's sneaking under the radar. I know the book's still wrapping, but a lot of people forgetting about the big Spanish bull. He is your defending champion.
And he was one that I thought that I actually could start with. I mean, we had Rory as a first-round leader. I had no shares at 10-1. Circa got it to 11-1 late last night. I didn't dive in. We started with Rahm and worked our way back from there. I think that's someone that, again, with JT playing so well, Rory, Scotty, that all of a sudden he is the forgotten man.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, he hasn't been playing terrible. It's just we got high expectations for Rahm. He had that recent win at the Mexico Open. It wasn't flashy, but it was good. And I think he'll have good vibes coming back to, the tournament that he won last year down at Torrey Pines. And I think he showed us last year exactly what we're going to see this weekend. A lot of big names riding the mix there on the back 9, but no one's going to give this one to you. You've really got to earn it. You've got to do something special and take this championship. It's the US Open. It's meant to be the toughest of all 4, and that's how the way we want to play out. Hey, and don't sleep on a guy like Adam Scott. I'll throw another Aussie countryman in there, and Max Homa. Love Max Homa's golf game. I think it's time for him to step up and be a factor at some of these majors.
We do have a Max Homa outright. I think it was around plus 4,100 or something like that.
Love it. He can play all the game in the world. Just needs to take it up a couple of pegs now.
The one and only Dubbs Anderson. You can find him at Mr Dubbsy at Sports Grid's TV, at Sports Grid, Boston versus the book, Prop US, and of course, talking golf to me. Dubbsy, we cannot thank you enough here at ECSI. We know how swamped you've been. We'll give you a couple weeks off, and then we'll come grab you, say, at St. Andrews for the British Open. How's that?
JD, always a pleasure. My East Coast brothers catching up with Dubbsy out here on the West Coast. What a week this is. I absolutely live and breathe for major championship golf, and this one is shaping up to be a doozy, JD. We got to cash some fat tickets on a Sunday afternoon. Let's dance.
Hey, and the pints of Guinness are on me.
Oh, let them flow, baby. Let them flow.
Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, the one and only Mr. Dubbs Anderson at Mr. Dubbsy. Catch him, follow him. He is worth the price of admission. And I can't thank everyone, all our watchers, listeners. Have a blast. Cash some tickets. Have some fun. Stay out of the fairways. Stay out of the bunkers. Land on the green and cash a few tickets. We will see you soon.